Hey everyone, got my baits cast out. I'm ready to fill you in on what I'm doing today. So I'm out at the lake doing some catfishing. This is a smaller lake here. It's supposed to be really nice today. It tends to get a lot of pressure, so we'll wait and see if a bunch of people end up showing up or not. We've got some kayakers out on the water, but don't see a whole lot of fishermen out, surprisingly. I saw one boat out on the water. I don't see anyone fishing from the bank yet, so it's kind of surprising to me. But anyway, if they want to stay off the water today, that's fine with me until I'm out here. But I'll show you what we're doing here. So I'm on the top end of this lake. This is a small lake, and up here on the north end is real shallow. Back up in there, it gets to be about a foot and a half deep approximately. The creek flows in up there, and then back here on the south end, you can see the dam down there. The deepest point down there by the dam is approximately 9 feet deep, so real shallow. And what I'm doing is real simple. So we've got that creek that flows in, and so I'm just fishing this main creek channel. There's a point here that kind of pinches down right here. That main creek channel runs up through here, and I'm hoping that as those fish are working up out of some of the deeper water, working up along that main creek channel up into these shallows to feed, that they'll in the process run across my baits that are sitting right here. So that's kind of the plan. That's the thought process. Not expecting really any big fish out here. I don't even know. I know they've got channel cats in this lake. I think they have flatheads. Definitely don't have any blues. My expectation would probably be to catch some cats in the 1 to 4 pound range, but that's what I'm out here for today. My baits are maybe a little bit big, but I got cut bluegill on. I was out here last night just for a couple hours in the evening and slayed the crappie. I found a few schools that had worked up shallow. I think I caught 16 crappie, a lot of them really small, in that 4 to 6 inch range. But I've got my ultralight rod with me today, so if the catfishing doesn't work out, or if I sit here for a while and nothing's happening, I may go grab my ultralight rod and do some casting up here in the shallows, some of these areas where I was fishing last night and getting them crappie, and see if I can get on that bite again. That's the plan for today. Stay tuned. Hopefully we'll catch some fish. Something's working on it, or was. Oh, I can't sit there. It moves the whole table if I sit there. Those baits are sort of big, like I'd said earlier. They're maybe a little bit too big for this application, but I have a hard time. Number one, I brought tackle that's a little bit too big for this application. I've got my big catfish rods with my heavy line, my big sinkers, my big hooks. Didn't feel like switching all that out. And then I like to just put a big bait out there, and you never know when a big fish is going to come by, and I like to have a big bait available for a big fish. Unfortunately, fishing a lake like this, I don't know that a big bait is really going to pay off. Smaller baits might be the ticket out here. And if I feel like that's what's needed, and I can always cut these baits down for a smaller profile. Well, whatever it was did not get the hook, so I'm going to set this rod back and maybe they'll come on back. Got something working my catfish rod here, but I don't know if they got the hook. Scared to reel him in and reel down on him and pull it out of his mouth because I haven't had anything going on for hours. I'm just going to reel down on him, see if he's there. Nope. Oh, maybe. Oh no, he ain't there. Pulled it out of his mouth. Dang it. About the only action I've had out here today on the catfish rods. Let him get away with my bait. Look at that snake down there. Yeah, I hate them things. Oh boy. There, we finally got one on camera. Oh, and that one got released. It's been a struggle out here to try and get one on camera. Obviously, it's been a struggle with the cats. Haven't caught any cats. I just downsized all my baits, both of my baits on the cat rods, because what I was doing wasn't working. Had a couple of bites, they stripped the hooks clean. That big head hadn't even been touched. But I've been standing here and I've been nailing a bunch of crappie, but I haven't been able to get any of them on camera. So I don't want to stand here and leave the camera on the whole time. Else I'll drain the battery, and if I ever do catch a cat, I won't have any battery or any space on the card to film that. Whenever I turn the camera on, fish seem to stop biting. But I've caught a bunch of crappie standing out here again, just like I did last night, and they've all been real small except for one that was about 11 inches probably. But it's at least giving me something to do while I'm waiting on some cats to come around. There's one there decided to cooperate for us and get on camera. And that's about cookie cutter size. If I wasn't focused on the cats, I probably should focus on the crappie because they're biting like crazy out here. If I wasn't trying to catch cats, I'd maybe move on and go see if I could find somewhere where there's some bigger ones schooled up. But I've just been catching them all morning long about that size. Hasn't been a real crazy bite, but just one here, one there, picking them off. Finally have something biting on my catfish line. It might have it. I think he's got it. Oh, I think he's got it, finally. Now will he stay buttoned up? I've had an exceptional day out here. If I came out to catch crappie. There's just crappie all over the place out here. I ended up making a move. I had a guy, oh, he just spit the hook. Oh, that's a kick in the gonads. That's what I came out here looking for, was a channel cat. I came out here looking for some catfish. I finally caught one. I lost it. I changed my rigs. I put smaller hooks on, smaller pieces of bait. I'm getting ready to refresh my baits here and put a small crappie on that I just caught today because I know it's good and fresh. And then that one hit, but I ended up moving. I had a guy come over and start chatting with me, which is totally fine, but then he just started fishing right there where I was sitting and just kept talking and kept talking and kept talking. And when I come fishing, I want to be by myself. So I wasn't doing any good over there anyway. I spent way too long over there. I reeled up my lines. I came over here, hit a different part of the lake. I'm still catching crappie. Should have made an ultralight video, I guess, but I wanted to save some space on the camera in case I ended up hooking into a cat, which I just did. So I guess I need to stop talking. I've only got a short amount of time left I can fish out here. I'd really like to catch a cat, so I'm gonna replace that piece of bait there. I'm gonna put a piece of this fresh crappie on, and hopefully before we have to leave, we'll catch catfish. We'll be able to show you guys. Something's trying to make off with it. Let's see if we got him, or I don't know if we got him or we come on. I think he come off. Else he's coming right at us. Can't quite tell. Might be coming right at us. If he is, this will be the first channel cat that we actually land of the day. I still can't tell. Oh, something's on there. That ain't, yeah, it is a channel cat. Real small one. And that's why we've been having a hard time landing the fish. Just a little guy there. Hardly anything to speak of, but we finally caught one. If I was keeping some to eat, that one there would be perfect. Listen at him talking to us. Yeah, like I said, I downsized my hooks, downsized my baits. Finally paid off for us here. I've been out here since about 9 o'clock this morning. Now it's around 1, and this is the first channel cat I've landed, if that says anything. It might be the only one I land, but I'm gonna try before I gotta leave. Don't have much time left, but I'm gonna try to catch another one if I can. That's what I had intended to come out here and catch today. And if they're all that size, maybe I should have brought even smaller gear. Probably should have just brought some worms and sinkers, but I tend not to catfish like that. I tend to use the cut bait. That one was on a piece of very, very fresh crappie. I've caught over 25, almost 30 crappie out here today just while I'm waiting on cats to bite. Finally, we got one, so we may get a video after all. I'm not gonna be one of those guys that posts a video where you don't catch any fish. That may not be enough right there to justify posting a video either, but at least we caught something. I'll assess the footage. Alright guys, I'm feeling better now after getting that one fish. It's always discouraging, even when I'm catching a bunch of fish out here, if I'm not catching what I came out here to catch. It can sometimes be somewhat discouraging, but I'm glad to get that one. We lost one just a minute ago. I'm glad I made the move. I wish I had been fishing here the whole time. I just came out deeper. Where I started out the day, it was a little bit shallower, and I thought we'd get some cats working up that creek channel into the shallows. Just really wasn't anything going on up there as far as cats go. Came down here, I've had a couple bites in fairly short order now. I mean, it hasn't been quick, but a whole lot better than up there. So that's what I've got there. I'll probably just send that back out. That's a 4/0 circle hook. Let these cats hook themselves. Seems to be easier than trying to set the hook on them. And that's just a tail piece of a very small crappie that I caught out here today. Again, don't worry. No length limit on crappie on this lake. We're loaded up with crappie, and that's become very evident to me today as I've been fishing and yesterday evening. I've caught a ton of these guys. So they make good catfish bait, so I've been keeping them. I'm gonna store them for use later on in the summer when times get hard and it's hard to come by. Fish bait, good fish bait's hard to come by, but we'll get this flung back out, and maybe something else will come around and want to play before we got to get out of here. There's one there. Jeez. That's probably one of the smaller ones of the day, and it hit the hardest. Probably the hardest bite I've had all day. I was experiencing there for a minute another case of not being able to catch one of these tiny crappie when the camera's on. I've got so many of these things today. Okay, I think we got one on there. That one was big enough to actually bend the pole a little bit. Had my bait stole several times. And I think it's just by fish. They're just so small. I can't even tell they're messing with it. I think the wind's just blowing. This one's a little bit bigger, but he ain't gonna be real big. Try to keep him out of the rocks if I can. A lot of rocks down there. Try to steer him over here where I can land him. And there he is. All right. Feels good to get another cat. I don't know what the deal is with me and catfish. I've probably just because I grew up catching them, why I like them so much. But I've been slaying the crappie, but honestly, I'm kind of getting bored of the crappie. I want to catch more of them. Unfortunately, running out of time to do it, but I am thankful to get one more. And I do have a few minutes. Maybe, just maybe, I can get a third. These fish are still really cold. That water's still really cold. It's a good looking cat. We'll get him back in the water, let him go. Come on, buddy. You can't go the right way. There he goes. never gets old, guys. I don't even care that that fish there is just a pound or two. Actually, that one there is probably 2 or 3 pounds, but it doesn't even matter to me. I mean, I can go fish other places, catch 10, 15 pounders all day, but it's just fun. I just really enjoy it. Having a good time out here, and hopefully there's enough time to get one more fish. Caught a fish like the last 4 casts in a row, so I figured I'd turn the camera on. I'm sure I won't catch anything now, but you know, when you're catching too many fish, I guess just bring a go. Oh, that one may have got my goat minnow. No, we didn't. I was gonna say, when you're catching too many fish, just bring a GoPro with you, turn it on, and the fish will stop biting. Pretty magical. But I've been catching some that have been a little bit bigger over here. The past couple I caught were not big, but bigger than the 4 inchers I've been catching all morning. They've just been kind of hanging over here. There's one there. Been kind of hanging here on that brush pile. Got a school of them. Some of these are a little bit nicer. That one's a bluegill though. I haven't caught a lot of bluegill out here today, but the ones I have caught have all been excellent quality. I mean, look at that. That is a big bluegill, and for public water. And that is a really beautiful fish. Awesome fish. I'll watch that one come up and eat it. That's a nicer one there too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a nice one. For whatever reason, the smaller crappie I've been catching them off at the same spot forever now, but the smaller ones seem to have kind of moved off and some bigger ones moved in here. I watched that one. That was right off the bank. I watched this guy come up and swallow that minnow. That's exciting. Get him in the cooler, cast back out, and I'm sure I'll catch some more. Might get one more after all. Let's see. See if he's on. I think he's on. I don't think this one's gonna get away. Probably jinx myself by saying that, but I sure hope it don't. This one's at least giving me a little bit more of a tug than the others did. And it's gonna be my last fish of the day, so I'm gonna stand here and try to enjoy it. Unless he just came off. I think he did though. He's just coming at me. Yep, this one here is going to be the last fish of the day, and that was excellent timing because I'm getting, ooh, that looks like a pretty decent fish too. I'm getting ready to get out of here in just a couple minutes. So we'll see if we can land this one, then call it a day. That is a heck of a channel cat. Holy cow. I hope we get that one landed. Wow. Wasn't expecting to find anything like that out here. I was expecting a bunch of 2 and 3 pounders. That's an excellent fish to end the day on. Holy cow. Wow. That is a nice fish. Need my glove for that one. Glove's back at the truck. Look at that big old boy there, guys. See if we can land it for a hero shot. Jeez, there he goes. Oh, that's why I like a glove. All right. Look at that fish there. I don't have my glove. I don't have my tripod. We're making do, and that is an awesome fish to end the trip on. That's got to be a solid 8-10 pound channel cat. go ahead and get that thing released. That's a good way to end the trip. This is the actual end of the video, guys. Thanks for watching.